Maybe let's remove this first.
Right, so we are live. I'm just going to check that people have seen us and they're joining.
There's some background noise.
There seems to be a bit of background noise, but we'll see how we can end that. Okay, so that's gone now. Okay, can we start?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to welcome everybody to today, and thank you very much for joining us on today's webinar. I'm just waiting to see whether we have any more people who are going to join us before we kind of get started. So we're just going to wait for about 30 seconds and then we will get going. If you can hear us, please put something in the comments, in the chat, so that we can know that you are with us. Okay, so I can see one or two people who have joined, so that's fine. Right, thank you, Lena. Thank you, Amma. Thanks for everybody for confirming that you can hear us. I just wanted to make sure that we're actually communicating and people can hear and can see us clearly. So much appreciated on that one. So yes, welcome everybody to today, and we're going to be talking about UK visa rules, what employer and HR needs to know. So there has been a few changes that has happened with regards to the UK immigration, especially as it concerns employers. And here with me today is one of my colleagues who is going to support us with to give us what the information is, and also she would at the end be taking any questions from us, questions which are like general. What if you have any questions that are specific to your organization, you would need to reach out to us privately and we will share the contact details with you. So welcome. I have here with me Firuze Doguru, and I'm going to give a bit of more information about her. Firuze is an accredited immigration advisor in the UK, mainly helping businesses and individuals with sponsor licenses, skilled worker visas, and routes like innovation founder and global talent visas, particularly in tech and the arts. Firuze is also a Turkish qualified lawyer and legal consultant. So often supports clients with legal matters that involve both the UK and Turkey. She started her own consultancy here in the UK in 2020 and has since been working closely with entrepreneurs, professionals, and creatives to help them navigate the UK immigration system and grow their presence here in the UK. So, welcome to you, Firuze. How are you today?
Hi, Tutu. Thank you very much for having me today. I'm good. What about you?
Yes, I'm well. I'm well as well. And I'm excited about today. I'm excited about the information that you're going to share with us about all the changes. And yes, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. I would also like to welcome those who are online. I can see quite a few of you have joined. So thank you very much for joining us. And yes, we appreciate your time. So, yes, should we get started?
Yes. Thanks to Tutu for the introduction. As we are all, including me, we're very excited about like coming changes. There are like many parts that maybe it's a bit like challenging to understand and challenging to find a like way to move forwards for the like applicants or like employees. So I will try to clarify a bit of them today. Just want to clarify that there will be no individual advice be given because your individual circumstances or company circumstances should remain as confidential. That's the first thing. And second thing, I will be very happy to help individuals in one-to-one sessions, which I will explain later how in the end of the presentation. Tutu, so if you can just like help me to put the presentation on the stage, please.
Yes, that's fine. I just realized that I didn't actually introduce myself as well.
Oh yeah.
My name is Tutu Popola, and I am the lead consultant and founder at Sleek HR Limited. We support businesses across the UK with HR compliance, recruitment, and employment law. And yes, please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. But I'm going to give the stage now to my wonderful colleague Firuze, and she's going to get us started.
Yes, so we actually were expecting those changes and they're coming phase by phase, let's say. So it started with skilled worker changes, which UK government just announced a statement of changes in the like July 1st week. So let's have a like closer look to them and the impact on them for the like employers and employees and like potential like applicants, let's say. Thanks to Tutu, there's also a small introduction about me, and I am an accredited immigration advisor in the UK and also Turkish qualified lawyer. So I do help businesses not only to obtain sponsor licenses, but also later on, because I will come to that later in this presentation. Home Office would conduct some compliance checks sometimes to the companies in order to understand if they are keeping the like tracks legally, and also like in order for the workers if they have a right to work, and like if they like having an annual leave, if everything is being recorded, and you know other details that they need to be careful with in terms of having the licenses. So I will help with that as well. So let's have a small introduction to the statement of changes. So all changes about skilled worker visas will come in force on 22nd July 2025, which is very imminent.
Yes.
I know, so that's why it's creating some confusion and also a lot of question marks in people's minds, like naturally. And the focus of this change is skilled worker route, health and care worker visa, and salary threshold increases and compliance actions for the employers. So there is also the list being called temporary shortage list. This list would contain some occupation codes, which were identified and announced by the government that what occupations would be required to be hired in the UK in order to have like positive impact, let's say, for UK's like markets or like some certain sectors to like keep running. So the key changes will be general threshold. You may recall that first change about this came into force in April 2024. This threshold main requirement, one of the main requirements to hire someone under skilled worker visa will be going up to 41,700 right now. And then when we call other bands, there might be some like different requirements. Threshold would decrease for some certain occupations, which there is a very long list for the temporary shortage, like what we call as temporary shortage list. And I'm happy to share that later on via link if any of you would like to have a look at and understand from the table which occupations would require like minimum salary amount of 41,700 annually, which ones would be like having the like less requirement to like pay as a salary to that person. About this temporary shortage list, I also want to mention another important date, which is 31st December 2026. This date might change, but under current circumstances, this temporary shortage list, as announced this month, will remain like valid, let's say, until 31st December 2026. But governments stated very explicitly that they might also change that date. They might like taking it, to an earlier date for this list to be valid or not valid, or some more occupation codes to be removed, because right now after 22nd of July, more than over 100 occupation lists occupations will be removed from the list, which is also very important. So big impact we are unfortunately going to face will be for the social care workers. So social care workers after 22nd of July will no longer be able to apply for this visa. For the applicants, I'm talking about like new entrants, they won't be allowed to unfortunately apply for it. But if there are already people who are under social care worker visa with their family here as well, they would be eligible to apply for extension for themselves and for their family members as well. And for people who would like to apply for some certain categories, there are some very like one or two categories would be still allowed to people to apply for themselves, but they wouldn't be able to bring their dependents, unfortunately. Their husbands, their wives, partners, children no longer will be allowed to come to their dependents.
Can I ask you a question, if that's okay? So I just want to be clear. When you say that they must have worked for the sponsor for 3 months prior to the COS date, so is this 3 months before the date of the change on July 22nd, or just three months before the actual start date with this new employer?
Exactly, it is about like for this specific category for the care workers.
Yes.
I will come to the example right now. Actually, just
okay.
This example will actually explain very good. Like for example, let's talk about Aisha. Let's say, and Aisha is just a random person here. So to be used as an example, Aisha is hired, let's say, as a care worker in July 2025 on a graduate visa, because graduate visa would allow people to have right to work in the UK. So if she would continues to work with the same employer, let's say, like care worker, then she would be allowed to apply for it, but she wouldn't be able to bring her dependents. That's like very key thing to know. And also all these rules will be like, let's say, terminated in 2028. This part is very complicated. It is because, let's say, if I started like working today, if I will be eligible for, as like current rules says, after 5 years for indefinite leave to remain, this part is basically saying all this extensions for the like social care worker visa will not be allowed by 2028. So the big question comes here that what am I going to do if I enter the UK in this year, 2025? Yeah. That part is not very clear, actually. This is something that we are also having difficulty to advise on and also understand if I need to be clear on this. But yeah, we need to focus on the case by case matter and individuals matters on this. So we prefer to have one-to-one consultation in order to understand like people's circumstances by details, because everybody's situation is different than each other, and then try to advocate for their rights as the rules would like permit to us, of course, within the scope of the legal rules. If I want to continue, there is another important change. So you guys might know that for skilled worker category, there were because people are coming from overseas, so they are graduated from some overseas high schools, foundation courses, or universities. So then government would look at what is the qualification here in the UK that potential applicant obtained from overseas. So right now, with this coming changes, the skilled worker RKF level will increase to 6. So occupations, most of them, will be having RKF level 6 in order to be hired on the
here in the UK. Applicant, potential applicant.
Sorry, it's like we've got background noise.
So right now, with some changes, the skilled worker.
Is it better now?
I think it's coming back to me, but yeah. I think that's good now. Yeah. Okay. So those technical roles, like for example, let's say under the category of engineering, under the category of IT, creative industries, there are still some of them which are RKF level 3 or 5 would be still allowed to apply under the skilled worker, but most of them will not be anymore, unfortunately. And this changes, this list, as I said, will be valid until 31st December 2026. At least this is what we know right now. But as government says explicitly that this list might be removed or might be modified before this date as well. So this is something to be careful, which would be careful with about for example, if you as a company, if you are at the phase of hiring someone, let's say under the IT category or as an engineer, let's say as a IT technician, for example, I think it would be important for you to check these codes again in the list and see if this specific occupation would be still allowed to, or if you are ready, if you already made your job offer to the applicant, the potential applicant, I would suggest that to move forwards before the 22nd of July 2025. Because then, as I said, after this date, some occupations under RKF level 3 and 5 will be removed from the list. I try to give you another example here in order to make this clear in further, which is, let's say a manufacturing company wants to sponsor a mechanical engineer technician in this year, but like later in this year. And this role appears like this role, for example, even though it is RKF level 3, between level 3 and 5, it is still valid under the temporary shortage list, and it will remain there after the 22nd of July 2025. So that person can be offered with a reduced salary still. So he or she doesn't have to be offered with the upcoming threshold, which is 41,700. This is still allowed under temporary shortage list to offer them a reduced salary until 31st of December 2026. So with these upcoming changes, I think general recommendation can be to take some actions for employers. I think immediate steps would be like all employers, all companies who are holding sponsor licenses right now would review their current certificate of sponsorships, how many allocations that they can make or they did, and review the occupation codes of their current employees as well, or for their future potential ones, in order to understand which category that they would be allowed to employ it under. And as I said earlier, try to issue the course before 22nd of July 2025 if you have completed all the parts about recruitment and other compulsory legal stages as well. And for the midterm plans, we can say try to update the recruitment strategy based, trying to identify what are the need of the what is the exact need of the company, which occupations that company would need to bring from the overseas as a worker to UK. And as I said, if the company would have a potential to pay the certain amount, certain salaries to those people who will be coming into the UK as a workers, and try to identify the need of the business as well for this. And I think long-term plans, what we can say, please be ready for any compliance checks can be done from the Home Office without notification or with notification, because I always warn all the companies who have applied for the sponsor license. Most of the time, of course, we get very happy. They get very happy because if you obtain the sponsor license with the rating A, for example, that would allow you to hire, people from the overseas comfortably. But your responsibilities are not ending there, which means you are in the system of the Home Office as a company who has a sponsor license. So you need to make sure that all your HR systems and track records of the right to work, share codes are up to date for your employees, and also your bank statements, liability insurances, and etc. They all should be up to date and it should be effective as well. So I would strongly suggest also to train the HR teams about the appendix skilled workers changes coming in. And please try to ensure also the salary rates of the occupations from the table 1, table 1A, table 2, table 2A within the statement of changes that's being announced. And also you need to prepare your all records and your all paperwork, and your SMS system, which we call sponsor management system, should be also up to date for people you are hiring, you're terminating, or whatever is changes are happening with this workers under your company. So as I said, I think as a conclusion, there will be more changes coming in, by the way, later this year. I think it will be also good to mention that in terms of indefinitely to remain timeline, whether it will be going up to 10 years, or who will be on the point-based system, who will be considered to be granted with indefinitely to remain in a shorter term, and what will be the conditions of it, and etc. Once we hear about it with the statement of changes, I think later in this year or next year, we will be also happy to share like with the people of concern to this. So I really thanks so much. It was just a I think short presentation. I try to go to the details, but also it cannot be like given as a individual advice or like general advice right now. Whereas like where if I don't know about your certain circumstances. So for the attendees from today, if you don't have any questions, I will be very happy to offer 10 minutes of a free call where I can take on your individual questions and try to explain that within the like current and upcoming changes as well to you. So thank you very much for listening to me. And if you have any questions right now, as a general questions, please do not hesitate to put them in the chat box. We will be happy to answer them. Back to you, Titi.
Okay, thank you very much, Firuze. That's been very helpful. Appreciate your time. I have so like Firuze mentioned, if you have any question, please put it in the chat, and we will try and pick those up as we go. I have just a couple of my own questions based on what you've just shared now. You talked about the 41,700 salary threshold.
41,700, yes.
Yeah. So I have a question as to how does this, is this the minimum salary? And how does this affect things like bonuses, for example?
It is going to be the minimum. Bonuses wouldn't count because this is like the main requirement to have to offer to that employee as a like annual salary. So the bonuses and etc. will be top of it because if I am also, I mean, you would know that more as a like HR expert, but please correct me if I'm wrong. But bonuses would not count and cannot be counted as part of salary since it is under the company's discretion to provide
Yes.
it or not. So therefore the 41,700 would not, I would say, include and should not include to my perspective.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to check whether the Home Office would take that into account by any chance. That there is a bonus that makes up the, so for example, and the salary is let's say 35,000 a year, and then they're entitled to an additional bonus of maybe up to 8 or 9,000 that takes them into that threshold, whether the Home Office would look at that all as one income or they would only focus on the actual salary of
Yeah,
the
I would say the actual sorry, I would be very doubtful to to comment on it as like positive that they would count on it because as I say, the bonuses are like at the discretion of the company. But also to remind that not every job occupation will be required to be paid 41,700. According to this temporary shortage list, if this occupation is under shortage, let's say in the UK, this like potential people would be still allowed to be paid under 41,700, which
Right.
need to be looked at that like list and understand which occupations would be like allowed under that.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you very much. And you also talked about employers should future-proof their talent pipeline. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
For the employees, like talents or like which category you would like me to actually
So on the side of the employers this time, you've asked them to future-proof their talent pipeline, and I just wonder.
what I was trying to mention there actually, like for example, actually my point was try to like understand the company's needs because obviously those changes are referring some like let's say wrong implementations by some companies as well as some individuals as well because there might be like some like mistakes being detected maybe during the like compliance checks and etc like conducted by the Home Office or like refusals and like so on. So I would say please be mindful when you're hiring someone and like identify those people according to the business needs and also make sure that your authorizing officer under the sponsor management system know how to use that system, because there are like some people, like when I receive some inquiries, for example, they are calling me as an owner of the company, director, and when I ask them if they are authorizing officer in the system, they say yes, but they don't know like very fundamental things that they should. So I think they need to understand how to use that system, what certificate of sponsorship like actually means, and how to assign it, how to withdraw it, what are the consequences, and etc. And also, yeah, they need to be careful identifying the company needs when they are hiring someone.
Okay, thank you very much, Firuze. I have another question which may impact more social care and possibly hospitality. And I know that under current rules, employees are able to work for another organization that's not their main sponsor for up to 20 hours.
Mhm.
And some organizations rely on them to do like bank work or part-time employment or casual employment for up to 20 hours. Does that still continue under the new rules, or is that likely to change?
There is no change being announced as far as I'm aware on this, so it
Okay.
should continue until the another notice that we may receive. But also, these people should not forget that to be aware, like they need to like update their situation if they are working elsewhere under the payroll, of course, up to 20 hours while being under skilled worker visa by another employee in the UK.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. If anybody has any questions for Firuze or myself, please can you post them in the chat, and we will try to answer them as we kind of go along. If you don't have any more questions, then we'll start, preparing to close. Firuze is mentioned earlier about how to get in touch with her. So there is a 10 minutes opportunity for you to have a free call if you have any questions that you would like to discuss with her, maybe something that is confidential. Our email address is the best way to contact, and that's info@firuzelegal.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, because like I feel like we need to do our parts as immigration advisors as well, since those are coming in force in like a couple of days now, and like of course all companies or workers have other things to take care of in their lives as well. But those
Yes.
changes are very important and will affect their circumstances too. So here to help, and will be happy to help if I can.
Yes, and it's really important to have the right type of advice, I would say, because these changes happen like 22nd of July is just next week. So there's not actually plenty of time to be able to plan. So which makes it very important that you have, companies and individuals have access to the right advice in terms of what they're doing next step, so that they don't, get into any trouble whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't seem to have received any further questions. So, on that note, I would like to thank you very much for your time, and just say it's been very insightful to hear how you've broken this down for us to be able to understand a little bit more clearly.
Mhm.
And yes, thank you very much for your time. And I would also like to thank those who have joined us on this live video. I can see a few people, Justina, Ama Asare, and a few others that have joined as well. Oh, Lina Chakraborty, thank you very much. Thanks very much to everybody. And yes, have a good rest of the day. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you very much, Tutu, for the invitation and for the organizing this and all the arrangements. Like really thankful for your like close care and attention to this.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks, Louise. Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye now.